Well, hello. This video is a little video I wanted to make about a situation that I occasionally run across in my logging, and it's one of the primary unseen sort of lurking dangers of logging in farm country, particularly, around the borders of old woodlands. So what we have here, this is a telltale sign. If you're in a hardwood bush and you see a piece of old cedar like this, this is a little piece of cedar post. And this is fencing. This is, there's my horses. I was logging in here last week, in this little section. And there's a road allowance just right in there. There's a road allowance that runs east-west. And we're right on the edge of the old woods. What we're looking at here, if I look, you see all that little spindly second growth stuff that's 30, 40 years old? That used to be a field. This big stone here is on the edge of the field. And this, where I'm standing right here, is the old fence line. Oh, this is the woods. That was a field. The field is slowly becoming woods, but the line is still here. And what we have are these cedar posts with wire stapled to it. Now there's no barbed wire in this section, there's only page wire. So what you have, this is all strung through the forest. It goes about another, third of a mile up through the woods here. This is something you always have to be aware of, because if you get a horse or a team of horses tangled up in this wire, it's just a nightmare. So I had to cut there was a bunch of dead trees here. There's a dead ash there. There was a bunch of dead, you can kind of see here, there was some dead basswoods, a bunch of stuff that was down, a dead maple that had blown over partway right there, you can see, a dead ash there. So the situation is always, when you start a logging job, if you happen to be ever thinking about this, if you're using horses especially, scout the woods. Because you never know where they might have put an old fence line through, or even they just ran a strand of barbed wire through the woods. So I always walk the bush before, at least, if not the whole bush, at least the section I'm going to be logging. Walk the bush and make sure you locate any wire, old rusty wire. Now I know there's no barbed wire here on this section. There's elsewhere on the property, but there isn't here. So I walked this bush before I started. And I got a bearing on where all the wires were. So they were right here. And when I was logging here, I was pretty careful to keep out of it. We were working right up to it. Well, I didn't put the horses through that wire, because it's partly down, it's partly up. Mostly it's just sort of laying on the ground. So that's a word of caution. If you ever get the idea in your head to go logging in the woods with horses, even horseback riding. If you ever been horseback riding and got tangled up in the wire, have your side cutters handy. Take care.